Hello and welcome back to Seagulls Central. My name is Adam MacDonald and thank you so much for clicking on this video, coming back to the channel and getting involved in the conversation. As always, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for getting involved. This is the home of Brighton and Hove Albion content. I try and jump on as often as I can to react to all the latest breaking news when there's matches on, to dig deep into the results, get all the conversation going with you guys in the comments, and I just love it, and I hope you guys like it too. It's a community that's been growing quite nicely in the last few months, so if you're new here and you've not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and get involved for all the latest content. Turn your notifications on as well. It really means a lot to me. If you're part of the 73% of regular viewers who are watching this channel but aren't yet subscribed, you know what you got to do. Hit that subscribe button. Join the club of people subscribed. It really means a lot to me. It helps me a lot, and I'm very, very appreciative. Look, I'm jumping on to react to a big bit of breaking news that's landed in the last hour, couple of hours or so, regarding the future of Brighton forward Kaoru Mitoma. Huge news. A story which I thought, in terms of his transfer future, was going to rumble on throughout the summer. I thought this was going to be one of the deals where we were going to be tossing and turning all throughout the window, wondering whether he was going to stay or whether he was going to go. The news is, the news is that Brighton and Hove Albion have opened contract talks with Kaoru Mitoma after he has said to the club that he is keen to stay and renew his deal. This comes amid interest from Bayern Munich. This comes amid interest from Saudi Arabia. Obviously, we had that bid turned down in January time, in the January transfer window, a 75-80 million pound bid for Kaoru Mitoma, which the club turned down. And now at 28 years old, we weren't too sure whether this would be the summer where he was going to have to get his big move to a big club, to European football, to Champions League football, which he obviously so deserves. And I kind of felt like we were going to keep him. I did not expect we'd be in a situation where he would be openly saying that he is prepared to sign a new contract. Let me read you the report. So this is a report exclusively coming from Sky Sports, who are running this story. And here's the headline. Brighton winger wants to extend his stay with the Seagulls and sign a new contract amid Bayern Munich and Saudi Arabia interest. So, the headline, Kaoru Mitoma has told Brighton he wants to stay at the club and sign a new deal. Brighton are keen to sit down with the Japanese forward to discuss improved terms and an extension to his contract. The club want to reward Mitoma for performances with a new deal that reflects his importance to Fabian Hurzeler's squad. So, the context, his current deal expires in 2 years' time. Obviously, I think for me, I was kind of at a point where I felt quite confident about us being able to keep him, about us being able to kind of bat away the bids this summer. But I did always feel that was lingering over us. Now at 28 years old, coming into the prime of his career, having a fantastic season last season, arguably his best one in a Brighton shirt, probably better than that one you could even argue in this first season at the club when we got European football. One of the most exciting, attacking, direct, just brilliant, electric wingers in the league. If not one of the most exciting left wingers in Europe in the way that he can just run at players. And also, in terms of like the brand of Mitoma that he brings, I think he's a really, really attractive proposition for so many clubs around the world to bring him to their club. Not only does he bring that brand, but he also has genuine top class experience. And I think if Brighton are able to keep him this summer, it is one of the deals of the window for Brighton. Forget any player we're going to bring in. I think keeping him is just as important. And yes, we've brought in players. Tommy Watson coming in. Kostulas, Tsimas. We've got Evan Ferguson maybe coming to the fold. Jorginho Rutter stepping up. But I think our best front line, it all would have been for nothing if we hadn't had Kaoru Mitoma anymore. And we brought in all these players. We were looking in really good nick, but it was at the expense of Kaoru Mitoma. And yes, we might have got 70, 80 million for the guy, but we wouldn't have had him. The way that we saw it towards the end of the season, the way he was like bringing the ball down out the air, the way he can change games. In that final run of 5 games or so where he wasn't starting games as often, I think they were trying to really rest him and kind of just get him. So he was having a back injury, didn't he? And he was kind of coming off the bench. And I think we really saw the impact that he had in terms of being able to come on and just change the intensity of Brighton's play. That we have, for all the attacking quality that we do not have players like him who can just run at players, who can just dictate the moment, who can shift the momentum, who can win matches. Obviously, we've got a couple of those, but I think it's not just his match-winning ability, it's that momentum-shifting ability that he has. He can really turn the tide of a game just by getting the ball at his feet and scaring the living daylights out of defenders. For me, it is unexpected to get a new deal from him. I was going to kind of expect that if there was going to be a time we were going to move him on for big money, it would have been this summer. If not, maybe next summer it would have been just like a kind of cursory deal, a bit like Pascal Gross, where you get kind of cheap money and he gets his move, and I kind of felt that might have been how it had gone. The fact that we're going to look to time down probably to another 3-year deal or so, we'd be in a much better bargaining position if we were to maybe sell him in a year's time, but hopefully to keep him as a central part of this squad for a couple of years to come at least. I think next season could be really special now, particularly if we're going to be able to keep him. Yes, we've got so much depth. We've bolstered the defence in the way it needs to be bolstered. We're looking much better in our kind of fullback positions. I think we're going to look decent despite, obviously, Valentin Barker going out permanently to Strasbourg, that deal becoming permanent today. But, with Ferdi Kadioglu coming back, Jack Hinshelwood looking strong, Joel Veltman, we've now got Busquets. The defence is looking really strong. The midfield was already pretty excellent, and that attack was looking so stacked. The fact we've now got him to rely on as well, it's a massive boost, and I think it can really help us next season try and just take things to that absolute next level. We're not just going to be a club now who are... I think this genuinely means that next season we're not going to be a team that are fighting for like 9th or 10th. I think the fact that we can keep Kaoru Mitoma is a statement of the fact that we are really going to try and push for that top 6 next season. I think it's going to be a massive moment for our season if we can keep him. I'm just going to read out some of the quotes that Fabian Hurzeler said about Kaoru Mitoma. Obviously, we heard him earlier in the week talking about how he was confident that both Kaoru Mitoma and João Pedro would be reporting back for pre-season. Well, we saw how that turned out, obviously, with João Pedro's move to Chelsea being confirmed literally today. But the quotes from Fabian Hurzeler in recent days talking about Mitoma, saying Mitoma played a great season last season, but it's only because as a club we work together, then you can shine as individuals. It's the most important that all the players try to understand that, and Mitoma understood that last season. I'm really looking forward to seeing him back for pre-season. That's the plan. We look forward to continue working with him to try and improve him, because I still think his limit is not reached yet. That's our job, the job of the whole club, to get the best potential out of players. And that's what we're looking for in pre-season. I'm sure he's going to be an important part of our season coming up. So it's a huge statement of intent for Brighton. If we can, what I thought was going to be very, very difficult, and keep Kaoru Mitoma next season. And also just from a brand perspective from the club, this is massive. The impact that he brings in terms of views, in terms of fans coming to the stadium, people buying tickets, people buying shirts. He's the poster boy for all of the, new shirt kind of marketing that was going out. There's so much of the Kaoru, and also one thing I love about him, to be fair, is the fact that he does seem genuinely humble. He seems like a bit of a unique modern day footballer in the sense that it does seem like it's all about the football, and he does seem to really value the relationships at the club. And I spoke about that in my video where I ranked kind of Kaoru Mitoma's best moments from last season, where I spoke about that kind of humility that I think he has as a person, as a player. You don't hear much of kind of him and his agent ever talking just generally, whether you're frustrated or not, or in any kind of circumstances. We only really heard him after the Japan internationals a few weeks ago talking about, I'm really disappointed to not have achieved Europe. I think a lot of us maybe interpreted that as, oh my God, does this mean that he's going to be angling for a move now? But actually, I think probably what it was just that genuine disappointment, because he is a player who should really, if he was I want to say if he was a really selfish person, he would have really pushed for a move, maybe even a year ago, maybe even in January, to try and go and get Champions League football. He is easily good enough to be playing for Bayern Munich. I know they're interested, looking for a left winger. He's easily good enough to be playing for a top 4 team in the Premier League. You think about Arsenal wanting a left winger. Okay, he doesn't necessarily fit their age profile, but he'd be the perfect signing for them. And I think he probably is a little bit slept on. Maybe the fact that he is kind of 27, 28, clubs maybe a little bit reticent and hesitant to go for him, but he'd be an unbelievable signing. And the fact that we're able to keep, I've said it in the past, I think we've got a top 4 attack. And maybe I was a little, preemptive and kind of too early to say that at the time. This was about last summer. But I actually think now, looking into next season, I think while we have been weaker in, say, defence, I think the attack is stacked, and the quality that we have in that attack and the goals that we can score, the versatility in our players in attack, it's frightening. It's really, really impressive. And the fact that Kaoru Mitoma looks like he's going to be a part of that next season and hopefully in the years into the future, also sets the club up really nicely financially in terms of his future. And it's just a really, really, really exciting moment for the club, for Brighton fans, and for the future of Kaoru Mitoma. So let me know in the comments, are you surprised by this, U-turn, or not a U-turn, but kind of the change in events where we're not even worried about anymore him going? It's more about kind of, oh my God, he signed a new contract. How are you feeling about that? Are you just as shocked that he's decided to sign a new contract? And it sounds like from these reports like it was kind of initiated by him. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How big a boost is it? Is it as big a boost as I've thought it to be and I've made out in this video that it is to be? Have I gone too far? Do you think he is as important as I've made him out to be? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please hit a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Become part of the minority. What is it? 73% of people who aren't subscribed to this channel. Turn that around. Make sure you're not in that 73%. It really means a lot and helps me out. Thank you so much for watching this. I will see you on the next video. And after a night like this, where Kaoru Mitoma is about to sign a new contract, all I can say is, up the Albion.